and welcome to Training Tuesday, where we go through weekly tips and tricks to make your career just a little bit more awesome. This week we are talking all about waiting for change and making moves in 2020. Now, somehow it is December, and that means we not only have one more month in this year, but one more month in this decade, which feels like pretty impressive if you ask me. And because of that, people are starting to think about resolutions, right? They're starting to think about all of the things they want to accomplish in the coming year. And although I'm not the biggest fan of resolutions, which I can go more into on another time, I do want to talk about positive change because I think that's something that we can all get on board with. Now, the truth is, at this time of year, when we're talking about change, I often start to see a very common pattern, which is I often start to see people pull off the gas around this time of year, right? They start to kind of put their career or their ambitions or their things on the back burner while they're dealing with holiday parties and stuff and buying people gifts and all of the things that come around this time of year. And they kind of say, oh, well, I'll make all those resolutions come the coming year. And right now I'm just going to kind of let things take the back seat. And while you can do this, I don't think it's really the most effective way to go about things. I think so often I see people waiting for this clean slate, this new year, new me that they think is going to be coming up around the corner. And unfortunately what happens is, right, not only are they kind of pulling back now, but they're not setting themselves up for success later because they don't make any sort of small habit shifts or do any of the good behaviors that are going to make their big resolutions in the coming year come easier. And so they end up making things so much harder for themselves than it needs to be. Now, what we want you to do instead is start to make small changes now so that when the new year comes, it's so much easier, right? It doesn't need to be perfect. It doesn't need to be a clean slate. It doesn't need to be a flawless, I'm clean eating all the time, because that might not be a reality for you right now, but you can probably make a couple of better decisions in the coming month opposed to writing it off as a loss, and taking your foot off the gas, as I said before, right? So that's what I really want you to think about, is not waiting for perfection. I want you to think about starting to make consistent changes, small ones now, so that you can set yourself up with better habits and patterns and tactics as you go into 2020. This is the best way to set yourself up for success. So my tip this week is simple. I want you to sit down and ask yourself two questions. One, what shifts do I want to be making overall and in the new year? Two, what can I do now to start to set myself up for that? Right? Is there something that I can do that feels like a doable win at this time of year? Maybe it's not saying I'm going to completely not spend any money for the next month, but maybe it's saying I'm going to try and set a budget for myself for my holiday gifting. Or maybe it's saying I'm going to sign up for that course that I was thinking about, get that book that I was hoping to get. Maybe it's I'm going to reach out for support for this person, asking someone for help because I'm struggling with something that I'm doing. And I'm not going to wait for the new year, because as someone who is a coach, I can tell you everyone waits for the new year and we get totally caught in the onslaught come January. So that's what I want you to think about today. What kind of things do I want to make overall? What kind of shifts? And then what can I do now to set myself up for that? Because I can tell you, something started is always better than something planned with the best of intentions but not actually begun. Always, 100% of the time. So begin taking action, begin setting yourself up for success, begin making the small changes now so that when 2020 comes, you are ready for it. Okay, so start with that. Reach out if you need support, and in the meantime, happy working!